So he escapes, which takes like 15 minutes in the show and about 1 minute here. He catches up with Katara and Sokka, who were just kind of sitting there, and their adventure begins. They first stop off in the Southern Air Temple, where Shyamalan realizes that he still hasn't named his main character yet.
Hey Shinzo! Monet! I'm back! Hey guys! I want you to meet someone!
This is where you live?
They must be playing some trick or something. Monkey Yatsu's gonna try and jump out and scare me at any moment. He's the teacher responsible for me. He's kinda like my father.
Is it okay if you tell me your name?
The monks named me Ang.
First off, no. Second, why did he phrase his sentence like that? Doesn't it kind of sound like it would end in a but?
The monks named me Ang.
But you can call me Jeffrey. We then get a scene where he finds out his entire race is dead, which would be pretty good until you realize that Katara basically just realized she should probably tell him that. Whoops. Now she had a good reason in the show not to tell him, but here she literally just remembered that. So after he finds the body of his former mentor Gyatso, who yes is younger and much more tanned than in the show, he goes into the Avatar state, which leads Katara to explain that she knows how he feels and what the... Okay, where are we now? Is this... Are we in the spirit world? Really? You're telling me that this is supposed to be this? Money well spent, ladies and gentlemen.
The Avatar. Where have you been?
Who the hell is this supposed to be? Is this supposed to be Avatar Roku's Dragon Fang? Because I'm pretty sure he couldn't talk. And at least he didn't like to show off that he could.
I can't bring Monkey Yatsu back, but Sokka and I can be with you as long as you need.
So I guess that scene took place over the scene I was talking about, and their journey continues. Meanwhile, Zuko gets invited aboard the ship of Commander Zhao, who's played by Asif Mandibi, who I swear enjoys delivering what I like to call expasalts, an insult that toys with the person he's talking about, but also fills in the blanks for people who may be listening.
As you know, the Fire Lord has banished his son, the Prince, and renounced his love of him and will not let him return to the throne unless he finds the Avatar. The Fire Lord believes his son is too soft, and by doing this, he will become strong. I commend the Fire Lord's discipline. For example, it seems I need to remind Prince Zuko that during his banishment, he is an enemy of the Fire Nation and is not allowed to wear the Fire Nation uniform. But we will let him wear it today, like a child wearing a costume. You are a gifted strategist. No one can argue that. Your failure in the 100-day siege of Ba Sing Se won't be held against you.
One day my father will take me back, and you will bow before me.
But enough of that scene. It's back to our heroes, who have more exposition. Have I mentioned that the exposition in this movie is kind of weird? I mean, half the stuff they're setting up won't be seen until the third film, and we know we're not gonna get that.
You okay?
I'll be fine.
You know, my grandma thinks because you're an airbender, that you could be the Avatar.
How much does the Fire Nation control?
A lot of villages in the Earth Kingdom, like around here. They haven't been able to conquer big cities like Ba Sing Se, but they're making plans, I'm sure.
So, are you the Avatar, Ong?
Okay, who's this kid?
What is this?
Stay hidden.
That child is being arrested.
For what?
He was bending tiny stones at us from behind a tree. It really hurt.
He can bend earth?
Well, yeah, this should be common knowledge to you. How do you know Ba Sing Se without knowing earthbenders? And besides, you'll know lots of earthbenders on the way, like Boomy, Haru, and... Is that supposed to be Haru? Well, they got the race right, but what the hell? He's like a quarter of the age of the real Haru. And he's more careful than this. And does this mean that there's no Boomy in this movie? Or Suki? Oh yeah, it's not like they were important in the complete story. Suki apparently was going to be in this movie, but she was cut out in favour of being introduced in the sequel, so we can focus more on Aang. Which would be fine if we had something to focus on. Anyway, they're captured by the soldiers through Katara's experience of waterbending. Instead of the clever way they did in the show.
That lemur! He's earthbending!
No, you idiot! It's the girl!
Oh, of course.
And they're taken to the prison for earthbenders, for some reason, which is on a metal ship far away from the coast. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this movie made sense for a second there. No, instead, they're taken to a prison that's next to a mountain near the town. Seriously, was there no point in the development of this film where someone went, hey, that's stupid? Even Aang's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
Earthbenders! Why are you acting this way? You are powerful and amazing people. You don't need to live like this. There's Earth right beneath your feet. The ground is an extension of who you are. If the Avatar had returned, would that mean anything to you?
The Avatar is dead. If he was here, he would protect us.
Again, it's common knowledge to you that the Avatar is reincarnated when they die. But after Aang reveals himself as the Avatar, shocking Katara and Sokka, who should already know that, the Earthbenders suddenly realize, hey, we're standing on Earth, and start fighting back. And then we get the part of the film that made people really angry. The fighting in this movie sucks! It's slow, boring, has choreography that seems to be made up on the spot sometimes, and half of them takes place in one big tracking shot, which results in some actors clearly waiting for them to be in shot. And even when the fighting is remotely fast, we get some random slow motion shots. And as mentioned before, the bending takes like 8 moves to do one simple thing. Now I know what you're thinking. The 7 guys who just move one rock. Well, if you look closely, it's actually the 7th guy that moves that rock. Me and these 6 guys did absolutely fucking nothing! So yeah, after they liberate people who could have just done it themselves, they receive a gift.
They took away any tools related to bending.
The Fire Nation took this scroll from a member of your water tribe.
Waterbending scroll.
Yes, they took everything related to bending. So here's a waterbending scroll. Also, guess where they got that scroll in the show? Give up? They stole it from pirates. Oh heavens, we can't have that. That would be exciting. They did have a conversation that's so close to the camera that I think this was counted as 3D.
I need to tell you something.
What is it, Aang?
I ran away before they trained me to be the Avatar. I don't know how to bend the other elements.
Why did you run away?
The day they told me I was the Avatar, they said I could never have a normal life, that I could never have a family. They said it cannot work with the responsibilities of the Avatar.
Why can't the Avatar have a family?
I asked that. They said that's a sacrifice the Avatar always has to make.
Ha! Okay, even if that was true, why would Aang care? He's 12. I'll get more into how bullshit that line is later, but for now, they're off to the North Pole, helping people along the way. Look at this guy. He's clearly waiting for Aang to finish his attack. But then we hit a stumbling block.
The scroll we had was proving to be helpful. Ong was practicing, but for some reason, he was having trouble with waterbending.
You know, it's fun to think that this movie's being told by the perspective of Katara if she was in denial. Aang took to waterbending easily. It was Katara that was having problems. But if what I was saying was true, then why would she say that it was Aang that gave her speech to the Earthbenders? Meanwhile, in the Fire Nation, Zhao reports to this guy.
I have good news. As you know, I conducted a raid on the Great Library, which most said didn't even exist.
Get on with it.
That line sums up this movie perfectly. Who is this guy anyway?
We should set a trap for this person. We have many Earth Kingdom people under our control. I can leave soldiers hidden in certain locations.
And my son?
He had his chance. He missed it.
Let's hope, for your sake, my son doesn't find this person first and he turns out to be the Avatar. He would return as a hero and for all purposes be your superior.
Well, there goes old suspense. I mean, it's not like the Fire Lord was kept in the shadows and teased through the entire 2 seasons, was he? Also, this version of the Fire Lord always asks about Zuko. That makes it look like he actually cares about Zuko. I wouldn't mind so much, except for the fact this is Ozai we're talking about. The guy who burnt off half his son's face and then sent him on what he believed to be a wild goose chase for having an opinion. Hell, once he manipulated his wife's words just so he had an excuse to torture him. Speaking of Zuko, he and Iroh are in a Fire Nation colony, where Iroh, not so subtly, tells him to get laid.
There are a lot of pretty girls in this town, Zuko. You could fall in love here.
Zuko responds by calling over a young boy. This is the only time I will accept some forced exposition. But still really awkward.